Standards. Old standards. Something I take very seriously. Something I'm very big on when it comes to myself and how I interact with others. So yeah, I got standards for my friendships. I got standards for my relationship. I have standards for my son. But before I can project or have the expectancy of standards onto others, I make sure that I set them for myself. There's just three things that I do, right? When it comes to a standard, I set it, I meet them, and I sustain or maintain the standard. And then once I make sure I do that, it's easy for me to have expectation of those standards. I can't set a standard for somebody in an area that I haven't met yet. Because then it's just a little thing I like to say, I'm outsourcing my standards. Meaning we know people that are probably overweight and they'll call somebody else overweight. If money ain't right and they'll question somebody else's spending, things like that. So if I set my standards for myself and my life, it's easier for me to have those expected standards onto others. Me now, with the changes that I've made in my life, because of the standards that I set for myself, I'm not just gonna be around certain people. And it has nothing to do with if they're good people or not, but there's just things I don't do. Because you can see down the line how it might end up. I'm not hanging around drinkers. Because not because I'd be so tempted to drink again, not after 15 years and not after making all these steps forward. But there was just a certain lifestyle that came with drinking that I'm just not a part of anymore. Plus, who are you around? Like who? Some people are able to drink and they like Jekyll and Hyde. They two different people. They wilding out. Next thing you know, I'm a babysitter, so it's just I'm not around that. I'm not around people that eat a certain way, even if we go out to lunch and things like that, because if they aren't ready to make that change in their lives, they're going to try to spin it around for you to see it their way. Like all that extra peer pressure and stuff like that. When the standard in my life is for me to get up, do the things that I said I'm going to do, and inside of that is how I eat. Um, the whole outsourcing of standards things, meaning you got these expectations and the level of intensity or whatever it is, if it's about sports or this or that, you have set a standard for somebody else, but when it comes to you internally, you have 1,000 different reasons why you're not doing it. And when I say you or we, I just mean me. It's just the verbiage. That came with me setting the standard for myself day in and day out. And it's constant work, I'm not gonna lie. But at this point, right, I've said before in previous videos, I'm kind of set in my ways. So I set a standard for myself. And I never like yield. I never allow myself to yield, especially to like peer pressure, taking steps back to live in a certain way like I used to live. It's the standard. You set it, you meet it, you sustain it, and then you share it, right? Like even with friendships, I'm not about to have people I know that's out here just out there like that looking crazy. I'm gonna pull you to the side because there is a standard, man. What you doing? If you are just allowing people to go out here and look crazy and they're supposed to be cool with you, or you're close with them, or they're your friends, and you telling somebody else, man, out there acting crazy, acting a fool, and you ain't doing nothing, that's a standard that you already haven't set for yourself. So that's something that I work on as well. Now I only got a close knit group of friends that I really deal with, but I'm not about to have you out here looking crazy. Especially if it's like when I used to be on social media. Take that down, man. I'm not trying to be bossy, but why are you arguing with them? Why are you doing that, man? You say you're trying to make this move. You trying to remove yourself from the drama. Stop doing that, man. Set a standard in your life. And it might come off as you thinking, man, he think he better than me. In some cases, yes, it might feel like that. But you got to set the standard, man. Especially like I always say, it's not about trying to sway the opinions of people we know, our peers on, people on social media you really don't know. It's those that's coming up behind you. It's those that are impressionable, like that emulating what you're doing. Only way you can do that is by setting a standard. Like I can recall when my son was like real little and like growing up and we would go places. I remember like it was yesterday. He was like probably had to be like 5 or 6, and we went to Target. And every like probably on Saturday, if he did well in school, like I would teach him, the difference between wrongdoings and mistakes. Wrongdoings have consequences. Mistakes happen, right? Good behavior has incentives. So it would be nothing for us to go and just go to Target into the toy aisle and get something for him to, a toy or something. He used to like these trains and stuff. And I remember we went in there one time and there was this kid that was just wilding out, hitting his mom's leg because he couldn't get a toy. And my son was so confused by it. He was just like, what's going on? Standard. That's not how we roll in our household. But I had to start that early. I had to expose him to that, the whole idea of wrongdoings and mistakes. And that don't mean he ain't gonna go out here and wild out. But I have to set a standard, set an example for him. Because that's what's happening now. That's if you don't notice, it's the younger generation because things are different, because what they have access to now on social media and stuff like that. So for me, especially as I get older, set the standard. And it's just those three things, man. Because if I don't, set it, meet it, and sustain it, and I ignore those, and I just skip to the step, I'm gonna be outsourcing. I'm gonna have standards set for everybody and everything, and I'm not even trying to do it. And that's not how I want to ride, man. What do you want people to know you for? That's what I always tell people. Like, what do you want people to know you for? Do you want to be known for the best gossiper around? You know all the sports scores? Or do you want to be known for somebody that gets up and they do what they say they're going to do? Do you want people to know that about you? Do you want people to be like, man, this person, man, I can go to them because I rely on them? And that's where that whole standard thing come into play. Especially, like I say, with friendships. If I can't use you as a reference, I'm talking for my 9-to-5ers, not the entrepreneurs. I'm a 9-to-5er. If I can't use you as a reference, then the level of our friendship is a little different. And it has to do with the standards. That just means we're just different. It doesn't mean I don't think you're not a good person. But that stuff comes in tiers, man. So yeah, it was a short one. Usually I do these in the morning before the workout. I just finished my walk. I'm working with this company now, man, to get a walking pad. I told them I'll buy it, but they said they'll send it out. But I'm thinking about just getting a walking pad upstairs because I do these bookings for work, man. Last week I had like 13 bookings, so every 30 minutes. And sometimes it can go the whole 30 minutes. So I'll do the booking, I'll put the notes in, then I'll get my steps in because I do about an hour, sometimes 2 hours of walking. Because it's good decompressing, especially when I'm home, I'm active, and I just don't have the time. Sometimes even, and it sounds crazy, to come down here, start the treadmill, go back up there, look at the notes before the booking to see who the student is. So I'm thinking about just doing a video about walking. Maybe getting this is one of those expensive walking pads, but maybe just a cheaper walking pad, the fold-up joint around your crib, just to get the steps in and stay active. I do the stairs, I do my runs, I do the Stairmaster. That's my cardio, but I still do the walking, you know what I'm saying? Because it also, especially after you eat, it helps your food digest, but also just in general, man. Clarity. It's just mental clarity for me. And then it helps me get like in a deeper deficit. I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, man, standards. Make sure you set them, you meet them, you sustain them, maintain them before you go, having set standards for other people and other things, man. Because then you're gonna be out here, calling somebody out for doing something you ain't even did yet, and that's weird.